Happy Friday, my friends. This is Jeremy Lampo, and this is day 10 of the Carnivore Challenge. Day 10. Feeling really good. So, woke up this morning, had my black coffee, got my water with my salt ready, and my tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Went to work. Really busy day at work today. We were interviewing for some teacher positions for next year, so I was on those interview committees. We're also have new smart boards, whiteboards put through our school, and so we're teaching the teachers like how to show those. So really busy day today. So important that I had high energy, and I did. Never felt groggy throughout the day. Didn't even really finish my black coffee because we're kind of busy this morning. Still raining like crazy. So I probably just had like a half a cup of coffee, and then so got to school, got to work, fasted for around 19 hours because we were so busy doing interviews. Didn't really get a chance to eat lunch early, so I ate it later on in the day, and had that ham and eggs with some of the chicken livers and some of the chicken hearts with some seasoning, and again, really satisfying. So I'll eat the other half tomorrow, but it was good. And then I worked at school till later because we had afternoon interviews as well. So again, felt really strong and really on point throughout the day. Never felt really hungry. When I got home, I had another interview because we had a 5 o'clock interview. And so right before that interview, I did my blood glucose, and so my glucose was 84. So I've noticed that I'm more in the lower 80s recently, whatever that means, but that's cool. And my ketone level was zero point 0.4. So again, relatively low. I've always been relatively low, but as I'm learning, that might be because that I'm using my ketones so efficiently. Because I got to tell you, there's not a whole lot of carbs going in the system right now, which is kind of the whole point of carnivore. So I must be getting more efficient out of it. So after that last interview, I had forgotten to take something out of the freezer for dinner, so I had to kind of defrost some meat while I was doing that interview, and so I got a little hungry. So I ate a beef stick, which was good. I can tell you that if you're gonna do that, make sure that you don't just pick up a Slim Jim or something like that. Those do have carbs. They have sugar. Again, it's really difficult to find like beef jerky, things like that don't have sugar in it. It is so important to read labels. That's just something that you've got to get used to. You can't just go to the store and see the word keto and pick it up, or you can't go to the store and see the word cauliflower crust and think it's keto. You've got to read the backs of the ingredients. We have one local pizza joint that does cauliflower pizza, and the moment they gave it to me, I thought this is not cauliflower pizza. Meaning there's cauliflower in it, but they also use different types of flour to make it look like a pizza crust. Well, that defeats the purpose. Especially when I was doing keto. So you have to ask, if they offer a cauliflower crust, ask them, is this keto? Does it have flour in it? And when I asked, they're like, no, it is not. It is not keto. Whereas I have another local place, and they also offer. Not only do they offer a cauliflower crust, but they offer an eggplant crust. And when we went in there and asked, like, is this keto? He's like, yeah. And he says, I actually, he got in a request from somebody else doing keto, and they said the request was, if we bring you cauliflower crust, like store bought, right? Can you make a pizza on it? And the owner, the guy that owns the pizza shop, says, I can do it for you, but I want you to let me try it. That's the bargain there. Let me try it. And so he did it, he tried it, and he immediately thought, I can do better. So he actually now makes his own genuine cauliflower crust, and when you see it, you know that there's no fillers or anything else like that. There's no flour in this. It is true cauliflower, as well as when he does the eggplant. Same thing, makes it from scratch. So again, if you find, if you ask enough questions and ask around and get into those communities on Facebook, you'll find these little gems that are fantastic. And before all of that existed, we made our own. So again, so important. When you go to the grocery store, there are 3 or 4 different types of cauliflower crust. And when you flip to the back and you realize that there are 28 grams of carbs, which is, if you're on keto, kind of like at your max point of what you want to eat. And then you realize that's only for like a slice of the pizza. That's not even the whole thing. So you also have to read what a serving size is. Then you realize, oh, this is not keto at all. So super important. That's my lesson for you for today. Read, 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 read. My wife told me she saw online where there are people out there that actually get paid to read labels, and they make YouTube videos just to show people what's inside and how to read a label. And I was like, who can't read a label? Just like watch some videos and look out. Like keto, we know we're not supposed to have like any of the vegetable oils or sunflower oils. You want like an avocado oil right from there, and then just look, and then you'll realize, wow, there's a lot of vegetable oil in everything. You might find a mayonnaise that is great because there's no carbs, but it's the wrong type of oil. So you have to look at for another type. So at one point, I tried to make my own mayonnaise until I found a brand without sugar. So the meat stick that of my choice I can find at Trader Joe's. You can also get it on Amazon. It's called Chomps, and it's either 0 carbs or like 1 carb if you want something with a little more flavor in it. And so I bought and so I'll ask for that for like gifts for like Christmas or Easter or something like that. It's like, hey, you want to get me something? Go ahead. I like this stuff. Now it's the running joke at school. Like some of the students and the teachers know, like, oh, Mr. Lampo's keto. If you want to get him something, get him meat or something like that. And so I think that's kind of a nice thing to ask when people ask me like, what should we get for teachers? I was like, well, find out. Just ask the teachers what they like. The kids want to bring me cookies and brownies, and believe me, we get a ton of that. I didn't get a chance to take a picture of it today, but there in the lounge was 2 dozen donuts from a local bakery that one of our nice teachers picked up. So yet another temptation that I kind of had to like step away from. So I ate the chomp, and then I was still just a little hungry. Had something going on that I was just like, what's going on there? And I had to wait for that steak. I had put it in the freezer vacuum, and then I put it in the sous vide just for like an hour and a half. So we go to the deli and at Zappardo's, our local grocery store, and we get their fresh pepperoni because I know exactly what's in it. I know it's very little to almost no carb with their pepperoni that I get sliced. They know me by now, but when I step up there, they're like, pound of pepperoni, I'm like, yep, sliced thin. So again, if you find that there's too many additives in that pre-packaged stuff, go to the deli. You can, the everything's in wraps, and so you can just Google it right in front of you and find out what's exactly in these ingredients. So I had a little bit of pepperoni, which usually really there's a good amount of fat in it. So by the time my steak was ready, I was calm now. Like I wasn't like really hungry at the time, and so I had a big old sirloin steak that again I usually cut off like a deck of cards worth. That's usually what my wife eats, and I've been cutting out some more of the fat to try to like do without, so I could take it from my own body fat. But tonight I was really craving that extra fat, so I ate it. And that gristle that sometimes you get on that steak, That's also got great collagen in it, which is great for your skin. And it's, again, kind of like one of those things that you don't generally get with pure solid protein. That's really good for you. So talk about like getting collagen powders and stuff like that. And at the beginning of my keto journey, I'd take the MCT oil, and I would take the powders of collagen. And yes, they're kind of on the pricey side. Until the more I got educated, the more I realized, oh well, just eat the gristle, or eat your chicken wings, or make a good bone broth, or find a decent bone broth, and you can sip on that, or add it to your steak. So frequently, like I'll add a lot to in the sous vide. I've got all the juices from the steak, and I'll keep that on the side, and I'll put some butter on the steak, and then I'll pour the juices over the top. And whatever I don't finish, I take out my little spoon, and it's like heaven. Like I love it, and it's what my body's craving. So that's what I know. Like okay, that's what I need, because that's what my body's telling me I need. So I ate that big old steak, and it was really delicious. And that'll be my final meal for this evening. Tomorrow I'll show you. I'm gonna put on that brisket because tomorrow's the engagement party. I'll probably put on that brisket right before I go to bed at night. I'll let it sit overnight in the smoker, and then tomorrow I'll take it out, wrap it, put it back on the grill until it comes to, I think, about 205 degrees internal temp. That's how I know it's going to be really nice and tender. So when you leave it exposed, you're absorbing all that bark, that barky, smoky goodness. And then when you wrap it, that's when you get it really tenderized. I've also used the sous vide with that. So it's what's also been really interesting is for the last couple of years, it's kind of like, what do you get your husband for Christmas? Like the new golf club? And I was like, no, I want something else to cook with. And that's all inspired by this new way of eating, this keto way of eating, or and now this carnivore way of eating. So that's fun. Then I get my new toy. Everybody likes it because now I cook for family get-togethers, and my wife again knows that like I'll do like the major of the cooking because it's been really fun for me, especially during this pandemic. Like it's something to do. I refer to my smoker as my therapist, literally on the app that works the smoker, because I got that one. You can name your smoker, and so I literally named my smoker my therapist, because during the pandemic when I was teaching from home and getting my child ready for school, for virtual school, and there's just a lot of downtime. When I would smoke things in the backyard, I would just go in the backyard and watch the smoke go off of the smoker, and I like the smell of it, and that just kind of like calmed me down. It was almost like a little chance of meditating. So that's when I started calling it my therapist. So I would call my wife would call me and say, "What you doing?" I was like, "I'm in therapy right now," and she'd know, "Ooh, what you cooking?" Right. So anyway, just a little off topic side angle from that, because otherwise my day was great, but nothing that exciting. So tomorrow I'll eat the other portion of that ham and eggs when I get hungry. I'll probably do at least a 16-hour fast. I'll try to work up to that 18-hour, but we'll see how it goes. Again, I'm going to follow what my body wants, and then I'm going to make that brisket. We're going to go to the engagement party, and I'm going to again eat all the meats. So hopefully I'll show you pictures tomorrow of everything that I didn't eat and everything that I was able to eat. And so again, by bringing something yourself, I know at least for a fact that I have something that I can dig into. And brisket's great. It's nice and fatty. And so that's going to, I mean, there's only so much brisket you can eat. I remember another video of like, bags of potato chips. I could go through Doritos and those types of chips, like bag after bag, and it does not even faze me. And then a couple hours later, I'll still be hungry, right? You can't do the same thing with bacon. Like, I love bacon. Most people love bacon. But there's a point where you can't eat any more bacon, nor do you want to eat any more bacon. And an hour from now, you probably still won't want to eat any more bacon. It's not like those carb foods that are just going to keep on eliciting more of those cravings. Like, once you've had your full of that protein and that fat, you're going to be done, and you're done for the evening. So now I'm going to watch a little TV. Probably try to stay up a little later than Papa generally stays up for, because the later I stay up, the later I can sleep to get the brisket ready. If I put it on now, I'll have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and get it done. And yeah. So I'll just watch some more TV. But anyway, hope you found this video valuable, and hope you enjoyed it. And again, leave a comment if you have any questions about my journey. But I am officially a third of the way through my 30-day challenge, and everything is great. So, bye, my friends. See y'all tomorrow.